In this episode, I'm going to give you insights into how you should use the marking guidelines and the notes from the marking centre documents for each exam year. Now, we all know these documents are important, but most students don't truly understand why it's important. Yeah, it contains correct answers for the exam, giving students a guide to how to answer the questions. But it is so much more than that, as it contains a specific marking criteria, sample answers, and those specific definitions, along with strengths and weaknesses of students in those exams. So what I want to do is start with the marking guidelines document. For each question, there is a sample answer, but more importantly, there is a criteria for that answer. Literally, a breakdown of what information you need to provide for each mark. So often students provide illogical and incomplete answers, which results in them losing marks. So in this way, pay close attention to the key concepts that you need to include. For example, did you have to draw a diagram? Did you have to make a comparison? For 2 marks in all cases, there is an identification of a particular definition or concept, and then how it relates to the question, usually in the form of an example. So in summary, having a comprehensive understanding of the criteria for each question will help you appreciate the level of detail required to acquire full marks for those certain questions. Like I said, so many students only use the sample answers as a means for marking their practice papers. However, they include specific definitions and explanations that you want to take note of. So, if the Board of Studies gives a specific definition for phagocytosis, you will add that definition to your notes that are based off the syllabus. Like I said, not your teacher's definition, not your textbook's definition, but the definition the Board of Studies deems correct. This is so important to note, as often students include ambiguous and incorrect definitions and explanations. By taking note of how the sample answers are constructed, you will gain an understanding of how to construct logical and, more importantly, coherent responses that will give you full marks. Lastly, in reference to the notes from the Marking Centre, you have available to you the areas where students perform strongly in and those areas which students actually struggled. What would be in your best interest to do would be to print off all the areas where students struggled and ensure that you have a thorough understanding of these concepts, because that's what the state's getting wrong. In this way, you have literally constructed a statewide bulletproof booklet. By ticking these concepts off as you fully grasp them, you will ensure you are ahead of the game, which is where we ultimately want to be. Just a note that the Board of Studies will periodically test areas where students have underperformed. Last year, there were 15 areas where candidates could show improvement, while there were 24 areas where they showed strength. So if you have a grasp of those concepts that students struggle with year to year, you know what will happen? You'll come up on top. While some of you may know the importance of marking guidelines and the notes, it is vital that you actually use these documents to extract the maximum benefit from them. Compile the areas of improvement for all the past biology exams from the Marking Centre notes, and also pay close attention to how sample answers are constructed, obviously according to the criteria. These documents are the golden ticket to your exam success, so please, make the most of it. Now, go ahead and download those resources and pick them apart so you can use them to your advantage.